friends near and far. I am Miranda and you are here with MAE Yoga. Today's practice is going to be something a little different than our normal kind of videos. I want to show you some of my favorite grounding poses, the things I use when I want to prepare myself to do affirmation or meditation work, but I'm feeling a little too wound up, a little overwhelmed. These are some nice ways to kind of bring myself down and prepare myself to settle in for a bit. If this is your first time practicing with me, go ahead and look for the link to a separate video called Tips for a Safe Yoga Practice in the description below and watch that first. Prop-wise, the only thing you really need is, if you do want to join me for any of that meditative work at the end of these physical poses, grab a pillow if you like, so it can be a cushion under your booty. And, well, it's always, of course, nice to have a bit of water. This won't be anything too intense, but hydration is always good at any time. Okay. To begin, we're already in this nice cross-legged seat, so we're going to go into Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose. I'm going to be your mirror for this first part. I want you to bring that right leg, the right shin, so that it is parallel to the side of your mat, flush to your hips, parallel to that. And then use your hands, draw up the left leg, draw that left outer ankle on top of that right knee. Now this is a great hip opener, and since we already hold a lot of tightness in our hips on a normal day-to-day, it's really nice to introduce yourself before you do meditative work, obviously. So holding here is a lovely pose in and of itself, but I also love to enjoy to bring a little twist into it, kind of to help release the back. To do this, you're going to bring your hands to your heart, like an Anjali Mudra, Namaste hands. And then whatever foot is on top, the same elbow is going to go into the arch of that foot. Okay? So since we have our left foot up, you're going to draw that left elbow. So go into that twist, bring that left elbow to the arch of that left foot. And when you have that firmly grounded there, push into the hands, looking over your right shoulder. Making sure throughout this entire kind of spinal twist work, you're never holding your breath. You want to let that breath flow in and out, especially if you're doing this before you do meditation. You want to start to prepare the body, clearing the mind. So really pushing into those hands, twisting you out. And to come out of this, just be really gentle. Release the hands to the right side of the body, and then use your fingertips to help guide you back. Nice little way to come out of that. Switching legs, switching sides. Draw that left foot down, right knee comes up, switching the legs so the left shin is parallel to the front of that mat, and then the right crosses over, outer right ankle comes on top. Okay? Keeping that foot very flexed, of course, because we want to have that external rotation in the hips, not twisting the knee. And now, since our right foot's on top, got it, right elbow goes into the arch. So drawing that right elbow towards the foot, pushing into the hands, draw the hands to the heart. Namaste hands looking over that left shoulder, towards the back. I love the imagery of when we do twist, to kind of think about your torso as a towel that's soaked in water, and now you're trying to twist that towel to bring it out. All right, so it kind of gives you a nice visual in your mind, perhaps. Not holding the breath, taking nice natural inhalations and exhalations. One last deep breath here. And then to release, again, just let the fingertips come down to the side of the body and gently guide yourself up. Holding here for a moment. Next, we're going to be moving on towards a child's pose. So, if you need to, you can turn the mat however you need to get to be comfortable for this. We're going to hold in child's pose for a few moments, so I will see you there. Everyone finding their way down to child's pose, down to balasana. Your knees are as wide as your mat, big toes stay touching. Go ahead and drop that forehead down, walking the hands forward. Connecting the forehead to the mat, closing the eyes. This is a beautiful, relaxed pose. It's also really nice, not just for the body, but to calm the mind, that gentle pressure on that third eye area. And you can always stay in child's pose as long as you want. You can also join me for the next pose, which is going to be a bound angle. They use this a lot in yin yoga. It's a beautiful shoulder release. If you are feeling tightness there, this is nice for you. To come up into this pose, you're going to walk the hands a little towards you. And then we're going to start with the right arm. Swing that right arm, swim it through under the left arm. Right palm is up, left hand is down, and you walk that hand forward, dropping the right side of the face down to the mat. And obviously closing the eyes when you're holding this, settling here. And especially if you are feeling some tension in the shoulders, it can be hard when you're trying to sit and meditate. You're supposed to be sitting up straight, obviously, for meditative work. So this is a nice way to kind of let that tension out of the shoulders, prepare you for seating, for holding a seated position. And then to go to the other side, walk that left hand a little towards you, push into the hand, bring the right hand down in front, and now swim that left one through. Drawing the left side of the face down to the earth, right hand walks forward, and hold. You want to think about your arms are kind of making a right angle here, a 90-degree angle. The right arm is stretched forward, left arm is perpendicular from the body. And the weight of your torso is what releases that left shoulder. You're not trying to push down into the mat, you're just letting gravity do the work. One more breath here. And start to walk that right hand back to the body, pushing into the right. Now obviously I'm showing you this at a quicker rate since this is a video. I just want to teach them to you, show them to you. But when you're doing your own work, you can obviously stay as long as it feels good for you, as long as it takes for you to be able to quiet the mind a bit and quiet the body, okay? From here, you can have a choice. I like to do a little bit of downward dog to just kind of release any of that, but you can always just return to child's pose as well. You do want to join me in downward dog though. Bring those knees underneath the hips for a moment. Hands are open wide. Tuck the toes under. And on the exhale, push into the balls of the feet. Bringing those hips up high. Pedaling the feet perhaps for a few moments. Walking them out. In downward dog, I mean, it is a very powerful pose. Obviously, it's a bit of an inversion. Your head's hanging a little lower than the heart. So it's nice for fresh blood flow, but it's also a very strong, engaging pose. So you're building strength, pulling in the core. Inhale here. Exhale, drop those knees back. You want your knees to come under your hips. Kind of the final pose I want to show you that I really enjoy doing for grounding is puppy dog pose. So it's kind of a sweet little silly pose. I always think it's cute, and maybe that's why I like it, because I think it's kind of a way to just kind of be a little silly and like a kid in your mind and kind of release any of that adult worry that we hold all the time. So to do this, you want to have those knees directly under the hips and try to kind of keep them in that area. We have a tendency to let the hips fall back a bit, and that's normal, but you do want to try to keep them stacked. Drop down to the forearms. Now for some people, just doing this with their hips tucked up, that's enough. If this is enough for you, if you're feeling a lovely back bend, you're like, this is where I can be, that's cool, stay there, just relax the head, close the eyes. But if it is available to you to go a bit deeper, you're going to start to walk the hands forward. You're thinking of drawing the chest down to the mat. Relaxing the forehead down, arms are very actively engaged, pulling forward. Getting a lovely little release. Thinking about a little puppy dog, stretching the front of its body. Holding here. Of course the eyes are closed, forehead is connected to the earth. Another lovely shoulder release while you're getting a back bend as well. And then to come out of this, allow yourself to come up on the forearms, releasing the back bend first so you don't hurt your back. And then walk the arms back towards the body, sitting back on the hips. You can always, of course, return to child's pose, or if you're ready to come off the floor from here. The final thing I really enjoy doing is Paschimottanasana, and that's a simple seated forward fold. Paschimottanasana is very powerful though because it is a humbling pose. That is what we call it in yoga. It's very humbling because you are bowing forward. You are literally surrendering, if you think about it. You surrender forward, you're letting gravity kind of take you, and the longer that you sit in Paschimottanasana, the longer you hold it, the more your body opens in a very natural manner. So what's nice about this is that you can obviously stay as long as you like for it. You start in staff pose, pulling out the tissue from your bum if you need to get the sit bones connected. Feet are flexed. I like to actually have a pillow at this point sometimes if I want to kind of put it on top of my legs so I can relax my head down if I'm feeling like having a gentle day. It's up to you, but that is a nice way. If your head doesn't connect down to your legs, then that's a nice way to kind of allow your head to relax a bit if you need it. So to go into this, starting from staff pose, all you do is obviously you're hinging at the hips. So exhale, start to fold forward, grabbing anywhere on your leg that you can, maybe the calf muscles of the ankles, bottom of the feet, wherever you can, holding with the hands. You're going to use the strength of the arms in a consistent manner, like holding yourself steady to allow the back and the legs to release. Basically, I was just looking at you during all of that, but obviously your head's going to drop down. You're going to bring it towards, you're trying to connect your forehead down to the top of the legs, maybe at the knees or right underneath them. Like I said, if you can't do that, you can grab a pillow or a yoga block if you have one of those to give yourself a place to anchor your head. Holding here, using those arms, pulling you deeper. When you're ready to come out of this, just release the hands from their hold and start to roll the vertebrae up on top of each other, stacking them. Coming all the way, just bringing the shoulders up last, open the heart. Exhale, release. And that is it for the physical part of this. So if you do want to use these poses at any time, it's really just a lovely way to kind of release any distracted thoughts, kind of wind down a bit and everything to prepare yourself for holding a seat for a while, which is what you need to do with any kind of meditation, all right? So if this is where you leave me today, I hope you enjoyed your time, and feel free, of course, to hit that like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you would like to stick around, I'm going to talk a little bit about this 21-day journey that I am going to be starting on YouTube. So go ahead and grab a pillow, bring that under your seat, and sit for just a moment, close the eyes. Alrighty, for those of you who are still with me, I'm going to take this time to talk to you about a new adventure on this MAE Yoga page, and it is going to be a 21-day meditation journey. All right, if some of you might already be familiar with this, actually is from Deepak Chopra, and the focus of this is abundance. And I love that word. Most people, when they hear the word abundance, they automatically think of financial abundance, and while that is obviously an important part, to me, it's not the only part. It's definitely not the most important one. Abundance can be anything. It can be money, but it can also be health. It can be love. It can be joy. It can be positive relationships, family, friends. Anything in your life that you want more of, that you want to have in a greater amount, and you want it to be abundant, that is going to be part of this journey. So it is 21 days. I don't know, some of you probably already know this as well, but science says that it takes about 3 weeks for yourself to learn something. So if you are habit-wise, so maybe if you're starting a new habit or stopping an old habit, it takes about 3 weeks for your mind to start to learn that new pattern and really integrate it into your mind, who you are. So it's going to be 21 days. We're going to have daily tasks, and these are going to be written tasks. You are going to have homework. I feel like I'm at my normal teaching job. So you have to do this homework. You are the only one that can do this for you, and it is going to bring up some possible emotions. You're going to have some realizations, hopefully, and that's an amazing thing right there. To have those aha moments are always great. There will be a task. There will be a phrase, like an affirmation, which I love affirmations, you know. So there will be a phrase that you will repeat in your mind, write out everything throughout that day. And there will also be a Sanskrit mantra that you're going to think of while you're listening to the audio meditation. Audio meditation usually runs about 15 minutes. So before you sit down every day with this video, I want you to make sure that you are comfortable, you're in comfortable clothing, you've got maybe a nice pillow underneath you, you're supported so that you can hold that for that entire length of that meditation. Try to minimize any distractions, turn off your phone, turn off the TV, try to do this when maybe the kids are in sleep, taking a nap or something, if you do have that in your at home. So trying to make sure that you have a nice chunk of time for yourself. I recommend that people do this in the morning, because it kind of sets the course of your day. If you start off with this really awesome, positive, manifestation, that's going to set the course of your day. I also encourage you to try to do the task, the written task, and the audio file right back to back. Whichever one first, it's up to you, but try to do them together, because that way it kind of expands and it's more powerful. You do want to have a journal, a notebook, something like that, because you are going to have that homework. And honestly, I can't speak positively enough about doing affirmations, meditation work. This is something that may seem silly to you, and that's fine, that's your belief. But you can try it in the safety of your own home, bringing this to you in your home. You can try it, and there's no cost. The only thing that you have to spend is your time and your energy. That is the cost of this. And the lovely thing about doing affirmations is your side effect is you're going to feel more settled. You're going to feel more calm. You're going to feel more positive. And that's always a good thing. So if it seems weird to you, if you're just starting out in this, just allow that to be, but notice if you're feeling any other sensations. If you're feeling resistance, if you're feeling blocks to a certain thought, pay attention especially to those, because that's telling you something. All right. So I hope that you decide to join me with this. I would love to hear any kind of feedback, anything that you're feeling, anything that you've noticed, any changes especially. I love hearing success stories. I totally admit it. It's awesome as a yoga teacher to have those. So anything that you want to message me through the Facebook MAE Yoga page. If you have any questions, message me through that. And get that journal, get the time ready for this, and jump in. This is day 0. So our day 0 phrase, our affirmation that I want you to think of until tomorrow, until we have the next video, is starting today, I constantly attract abundance with my thoughts. Starting today, I constantly attract abundance with my thoughts. Don't worry, I'm going to write that in the description below this video. I will write everything in the description below on each day's video, so you don't have to worry if you didn't hear something like, oh, what did she say? I have to write that down. It's going to be underneath there for you. And I really, really do hope, obviously, that anyone who sees this decides to jump in, and I hope it does wonderful things for you. And so yeah, I'm going to leave you here today. Give yourself a few moments after this video to think of that affirmation that I just said. Let's see how it feels with you, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat again very soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.